solution to this problem. Imagination brought this place to where it is today, to the greatness of what it is, but now we've hit reality, it seems. And unfortunately, we aren't using the resources that created this problem to fix it. We seem to, I don't want to insult anyone up there, wherever they are, but who's making these decisions, but it seems like it's pretty dry in there. So what I'm saying is that it seems to me there's a hell of a lot of imagination around here, and I'd recommend that they tap us for the source of the solution to this problem. Thanks.
Hi. My name is Abby Elizabeth, and I'm a senior here, and I'm out in a month. And I've talked to a number of people about what's been going on during the past week, and it's crazy. Just a couple point of interest. My little brother was here last week, Wednesday, starting at 7 p.m. He's 14 years old. Saw more politics than he'd ever care to see, but he liked it, so who knows. He's got a friend that's a senior at his high school who's going to come here for wrestling, who was called, in fact, this week and told the wrestling program's still on. I don't know. That's what the perspectives are being told. If it is, great. But anyway, that's a point of interest for what's been going on from that building outside. I want to be proud of this school when I leave. And I want to be proud of this school when I'm in India teaching next year and they ask me about St. Olaf. And I want to be proud of this school when I'm up north and I'm working as a program coordinator for Superior Studies this summer. And I want to be proud of this school when next year I'm teaching somewhere, or whatever I'm doing. I want to be able to say, you know, I went to St. Olaf, and there are some things that are bad. Of course, at every institution you're going to find things that are bad, but there are some things that were great, and things that people really worked on. We've been trying to increase the diversity at this school for the past 4 freaking years, and it's the hardest thing in the whole wide world. But let me tell you, cutting programs which draw students, especially multicultural students, I've worked in MCSS before, let me tell you about the departments that draw multicultural students. Every department here on campus does, of course, but speech communications is huge. Social work is huge. The peer college is huge. And once we cut that, no matter what student you are, if you're a multicultural student, if you're a student that has come from a rural town in Minnesota and come down here to be a wrestler, it's great, because the people who are here who are willing to be active and willing to let their voice be heard and willing to walk out of class and not be afraid, because it's one class, and you know what? There are things that are more important, and they're called people. And that's what all of you are. And I really want to commend all of you and encourage you, foremost, to keep this going. Make sure that a dialogue is created. I really want to make sure that next year there's a dialogue created, an open dialogue between faculty and students, because that's what hasn't happened. Students don't often know when teachers are up for tenure. Teachers get denied tenure, and then they leave, and students don't even know it happened. There needs to be open dialogue across the board from this and everything else. So please, as a senior who's graduating, keep it up. Thank you.
My name is Ellie Frenier. I'm a music major and an education major. My father was a social worker. Some of the most influential people in my life were social workers. You'll note I said in the past tense, because budget cuts happen around the world. This is the first step. We got to keep up the fight. My father worked for 15 years creating schools, creating places for people that had no other place, just like the Para College does here. And under political administrations, under the Reagan administration, the entire program was cut. There was no retrieving it. That can't happen here. I went to a arts high school. The arts, theater, anything that deals with communication, the nonverbal communication, the synergy of a team, all of that, there's no way of explaining it, but it's one of the most powerful forces on the world. And people fear that don't understand it. It's a pity that the administration that doesn't feel that is intimidated by it. My high school was, art school, and they tried to cut it. People that were, in different parts of the state thought that this wasn't important, that this was a threat, that we don't need this. But this is the most important thing. What do we have if we don't have communication? If we can't communicate through some means, we lose our humanity. This is the most important fight. We may be in a small town in the middle of rural Minnesota, but this is the most important fight. We've got to stop this. We've got to win. We've got to make sure that nothing like this happens at St. Olaf, and then it doesn't happen as we continue in the rest of our lives wherever we go. We've got to keep up the fight.
Hi, I'm Liz Flitton. I'm a music and fine arts major, and I'm graduating in a month or so. And, hi. I've heard it said, well, that these cuts don't affect me because I'm not in any of the departments that are being cut. And all I have to say about that is, fuck that. This is my school. I've been here for 4 years. So much money has gone into that building, I shudder to think. And when I leave this school, I get a degree, and that's one thing. But I also get a degree with the St. Olaf name on it. That's something entirely different. The St. Olaf Music Department has a reputation. That is what is going to get me a job. It's the same with the social work department. If the opinion in the bigger world outside this bubble is that St. Olaf is a quality place to be, that's going to serve me for the rest of my career. Just because I'm graduating doesn't mean that this stops affecting me. St. Olaf's reputation is going to affect every single one of us when we graduate and when we go looking for a job. So if I stop paying attention to what's going on this campus, and I leave, and I go try to get a job, and I let everything here, if I let the majors and the quality of the education go downhill, people are going to assume that my education, 10 years down the road, will have been the same education from St. Olaf as whatever the institution is then. We have to keep the quality of this place alive in order to keep the quality of our educations alive. What I have to say is, you seniors, I know it's a crazy time. I know it, especially you para-college people. But keep on paying attention, keep on listening, and keep up this fight. Because you people have been out here for an hour and a half. Rock.
Hi, my name's Dave, and I'd just like to say that I don't necessarily agree with the cuts or even that any had to be made, but I would like to say that I think that the administration did something really prudent by cutting social work and counseling psychology, which is part of my major, by the way. I think that they were really smart in doing that because by changing, for one thing, the psychology major towards more of a neuroscience thing, they're attracting more pre-med students, and if you think about it, pre-med students go out and they make more money, and they're willing, and they have the resources to be able to donate more back to the school. So it may not be about money now, but maybe a generation from now, all of us that are going into counseling psych will be making very little money, trying to help people. Meanwhile, our counterparts who came just after us in neuropsych will be making tons of money and donating it back. So I don't know what to say about that, actually.
I just have a couple of issues to speak about. I'd first off like to say thank you to you guys. You've given me one of the best years of my life here, and I really appreciate it. I'm a first-year student here. My name's not really important. What is important is I represent part of the first-year student group that's been affected by the cuts. I was supposed to have a major that I thought, I could finish my life on. Everything would be peachy keen, and I could really look to it to make a lot of money and things, but the voice that I'm trying to represent right now is the voice that the freshman class has really been affected. I mean, they looked at us as more of a minority, as a group that really didn't have much of a voice. Nobody was supposed to have a major picked. And a lot of us already thought, we came to St. Olaf here, to start our life. And I'd like to talk about family. I mean, this is my family. As a whole, even if you're not affected by the cuts that happen here, it still has an effect on you. I mean, we're all part of the same group. You've heard it said a bunch of times by other people that come up here. I had a friend of mine by the name of Jay Picanato. He compared this to a death in the family. What better way to put something like that? Somebody dies, the whole family's affected. It's just unreal. I mean, sorry, a second. I want you to remember the word respect when you're speaking out against the school. I know a lot of us here we're hurting. There's a lot of anger and everything, but I've got a really good an acronym that I want you to remember. Respect means to me a bunch of things. It means responsibility. We have a responsibility here right now. We owe it to the school. We owe it to the future. I'm part of the freshman class. I don't represent much here right now, but I represent a lot down the line because, here I am. Everything that I've looked forward to has been, just cut out from under me like somebody took out the rug. Here I am sitting down. I don't know what happened. I want you to know that you have to put in a lot of effort. Nothing's going to come easy. The school still thinks that they're going to cut everything and we're all going to give up. But with a lot of support from the group, we can all, keep going. We've got to keep a promise to ourselves that we will continue to do this. And we've got to keep a lot of enthusiasm so we can see the truth. Thank you for letting me speak here, and also thank you for giving me one of the best years of my life. I mean, I'll always remember this, even if I'm not here next year.
My name's David Fulner, and I'm a para-college major. Just like to let you know that for me, there's 3 major components to a person: mind, body, and spirit. And with these cuts, the spirit and the mind will no longer exist. And all there are empty shells walking on this campus. And when I graduate, I do not want to see empty shells walking on this campus. I would like to see a person with all 3 major components, the mind, the body, and the spirit, working and challenging each other. And I'll be damned to let this administration to allow that. Thanks.
Hi, this is Derek Burrows. I just have a couple of comments to make. A lot of you have already done this, but there are letters at the table right here. Please write something. Please sign something. I think that's very important. It's great that we have this, but we need to get things down on paper. We need to have numbers coming in. We need to really continue to put on pressure. And also the armbands. I urge everyone to get an armband and to wear it until we make progress, until something is done about this. And don't stop until something is done about this. We want to keep this wonderful momentum we have going today. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catherine Laurie, and I'm a religion, psychology, and women's studies major. So I decided it was time someone came up from the psych department and said a few words. I was trying to think of something really profound to say, but instead I decided that the most profound thing I could think of was my own experience here. And for me, St. Olaf, well, I'll just start at the beginning. A lot of you have heard my story.
life. But as the person before me said, she was a 43rd person from her family to come here. I'm a first generation Oli. And if things do not change around here, I will probably be the last. Yeah, 1 month of school left. It's going to be hard. I think of my friends. I have friends, for music majors, we spend 24 hours in that building. We have friends in all 4 years. And I look at, friends who are still looking for majors, and we all need help. I mean, social workers, the psychology majors, they're out there for us, not for St. Olaf College. We're going to need their help someday, sometime. That's really all I have to say.
Hi.
Who's that guy again?
That's me. A lot of faces have changed since last time I was up here. I'll introduce myself again. I'm Eric Radke. I'm a first-year student. I'm currently undecided on my major. I was involved in the wrestling program as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are there any people here from the Dean's Council right now? Okay, I've been really watching this really closely because I know very well that each one of them knew that this was going on. And I know that I've seen one face since I've been here, Charles Wilson, who I like the guy. I like the guy. That bothers me a little bit to the effect that this is our speak out. This is us. This is our hearts pouring out. Everyone is free to speak here. Faculty, students, and I encourage if there are any faculty here, get your name on the list. We want to hear from you. I mean, we're out here supporting you and the decisions that they made in protest of the decisions they made against you. So if there's any faculty here, get your name on the list. I'll bump you up on the list. I'm in control. But I'd like to reiterate again some points that I've made before, and just because so many faces have changed. We're not negative here.
But I've been here for about an hour or so, and it's all been talking about family, community, and about diversity. Okay, I'm a Hmong student. I'm gonna be graduating, the only Hmong student in my senior class next year that'll be graduating as a Hmong student. How much diversity does that tell you? Okay? And a lot of my faculty, my first year and my second year, have been gone. A lot of the good students. I'm an English major. You can say I'm not affected by this, my major. But then a lot of my teachers, professors, are gone. And so a lot of my friends are not going to be coming back next year. And I'm just saying, okay, they're part of my family. I've called this home. And my mom and dad has been putting a lot of money. I've been working my butt off just to pay off for my tuition. And I'm saying, where does that put me? Okay? I think that whoever's making all these decisions have to put this all into effect because I am paying $21,000 every year. And by the time I graduate from here, I'll be $25,000 in debt. Where do I go from there? And I'm going to say, how valuable was my $25,000 in debt when I leave from here? I don't know. Maybe someone can try to help me with this. I called a lot of my teachers, family. I call a lot of my friends family. And I'm going to say my mom and dad wants to know at least I put a valuable education into this. But the teachers what put me into saying, yeah, my freshman year I was willing to transfer, and the only reason, part of the reason why I'm staying and I'm still a junior today is because of a lot of my friends and my professors that are still here. And a lot of people who are going to diversity who are going to come here is going to say, well, this school is kind of screwed up. Why would I want to go there? And I hope that the administration and whoever's making all these decisions are going to put that into consideration. Thank you.
My name's Nat, and I'm a freshman here. And I personally, like, my major wasn't affected. In fact, my concentration was actually, like, boosted. I'm in environmental studies concentration. So, but I have a lot of friends that are social work majors and para-college majors. And I just wanted to say that they're some of the nicest, coolest people. Like, they're just great people. And I think that if the faculty, or not the faculty, that whoever's doing these cuts, if they make these cuts, then a syndicate of people that consist of a lot of just great people will be gone. And I'm not saying that there won't be any more nice people, but I really dig a lot of the people that went through the para-college and went through the social work program, and I think it attracts some really nice people, and I just think it's a shame that that kind of person won't be at St. Olaf anymore. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I guess a faculty member is coming up now, so I think we need to give her our attention.
I just want to say how much I appreciate seeing the turnout today. I can't tell you how much it means to me, because last week I went home feeling as though someone had died, and I couldn't get myself together all of last weekend, because if I lose one of my colleagues, and if I lose one of the fields that are devoted to the humanities, then I lose a part of myself, and I feel that very powerfully. I must say that this sense of loss did not just begin with the emergence of the staff plan. I mourn the loss of Joel Kaminsky from religion last year, who left silently, of Terry Cooks, who left anthropology, of Steve in residential life, of Maxine Proctor in residential in the dean's office, and the list goes on. Because we lost about 6 people last year who left rather silently, because it seems to me we're not always aware of everything that's going on around us. And there are other things that we need to think about when we talk about it, what we are gaining and losing. The fact that dismantling racism has not been seated, that multicultural affairs got seated in March rather than in September, that a number of other things are being held up, even though ARMS is touted as having been strengthened. So, and that titles have been reduced, that I'm the titular head of ARMS and AFA, whatever that means. So what I'd like to say is that I feel affirmed, at least this weekend, I can go home feeling strengthened that students and some staff and some faculty are joining to at least question what is going on around us that affect all of our lives. Thank you.
First of all, I just want to say a special thank you for being here. And by this, obviously, you show how much you care and how much you want to affect this school. So I thank you very much for that. I'm Jeremiah Pilon. I'm a sophomore English major, and I've just really got one quick message. I'm one of the unaffected students on campus, and so this message goes out to any other student that feels that they are unaffected, that their program wasn't cut or swayed by these cuts. The big thing is you have to look at the big picture. As Liz, Maggie, Pete, Abigail, Greg, and so many others have said, and I agree, it goes beyond you. This affects future generations. You may graduate with your major, your program might not have been, you might have been left alone, but you have that same opportunity. The program that you went through, the major that you graduated with, denied to a student that wants to graduate here next year or the years after. Would you have that opportunity denied to them? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Also, if you have ever had a speech class and in any way become a better communicator, you have been affected. If you have ever known a friend, if you know a friend whose major has been cut, they're hurting and confused, you have been affected. If you have ever been in a wrestling match and you no longer have that opportunity in the coming years, you have been affected. If you have ever cheered on the St. Olaf hockey team to victory, you have been affected. We need to look at the big picture. No one can say that they are not protect the integrity of this school's rich history. And we can only do that by standing together. Look at the big picture.
Hi, I'm Melissa Rudd. I'm a senior sports science major. This is one area that really hasn't been addressed, thank you, yet. The physical education department is looking to take some big cuts, some big hits. They want to suspend the physical activity requirement, which effectively takes the body out of the mind, body, spirit. They want to move it to the campus life, which is ridiculous because those who are not athletically inclined, they won't get involved. And the physical activity requirement makes sure that we're all involved. It's a part of the wellness and the health and the well-being of all our students. With these cuts as well, yeah, okay, right now, the way it looks, and hopefully we can change it, hockey and wrestling will be cut. That means that we'll be losing Kenny Pratt and Sean Goldsworthy. They're not just the coaches, they also teach. Goldie is my biomechanics instructor, and that, I have to say, this semester is probably my favorite class. I'm learning so much. What'll be cut next? The rest of the sports are just as in a precarious position. I mean, they'll change right